Hi again, guys and gals. You know, I've often said that car people are the best people. It's true. I don't know where you'd find a better group of folks, all with a deep interest in automobiles. In this video, we'll talk with a few of them and get to know them a little better. Marvin is the owner of this perfect condition 1964 T-Bird that he picked up in North Carolina. He was on his way to check out a 57 T-Bird, but after speaking with an elderly gentleman on the phone several times, he decided to make a detour to look at the 64 model. There's something about this T-Bird that caught his eye.
Oh, I just like the overall style of it. Because it was a new generation 64, it just kind of spoke out to me. It reached out to me, if you will. I don't know, but I was really attracted to it.
Like many of us, Marvin's interest in cars goes way back to his hot rod days.
I've always been a classic car nut, if you will. I started off with Windsor area street rods. I built my own cars, built my own chassis, and graduated into street machines, and now I'm into this type of a classic. Some people say it's an old man's car, but I'm not a young guy no more either. So you know, I just like the older classics. I've always been attracted to them, you know. It's got a 390. It's got 600 CFM 4-barrel on it. It's the original Autolite 4-barrel as well. It's got a 3-speed cruise-o-matic, automatic. The slide steering column, power steering, power brakes, power windows, power seats, power locks. It was, you know, it had quite a few options in it for its day.
This car is entirely original, but even though it looks great, there are still a couple of things yet to do.
It is as it came from the factory, other than the air conditioner. I had to pull the pump because it seized, and so I just took it right off. And but I intend to eventually get another pump. Oh, the body, I haven't touched the body at all.
That is the beauty of classic cars. There's always things to improve on. Memories often play a big part in the cars we choose to own later in life. That certainly was the case with this 1957 Ford owned by Bob.
My dad had a 57 Redo 500 Ford, and I was 16 years old. I fell in love with the car. And when the time came that this one here come up, I got inside the car behind the wheel, and I tell you, looking at the dash and at the hood and everything, it brought back memories. I had to have that car.
Like a lot of classic cars, this one needed a little help.
Put a new engine in it, new glass, labor of love, and an empty pocketbook. That's about the size of it. What it has is an 82 Ford 302 roller engine. It's all been done over, 30 over. Holly 4-barrel, C4 in it, with the old 3-speed automatic. And yeah, it's about it. Dual exhaust and whatever goes with it.
Where the real fun begins is out on the open road. This is a cruiser, not a hot rod.
It floats. For 1957, my wife even mentioned it's amazing how smooth it runs for that year, because what you have is old suspension, 1955-57 suspension, which it isn't like the vehicles today, but it runs nice. Well, the interior, really, I think they're out of seats and that are out of an 86 Lincoln. Probably a Lincoln Town Coupe, being a two-door. And white, which is nice, but you're constantly cleaning it. And soft leather, very soft leather.
Lloyd bought this 1970 Plymouth Sport Satellite brand spanking new.
I bought this car just on a whim. I went for a ride, and I see they just had it in, so I went over for a ride and went home with it.
You may have noticed the original Central Chrysler Plymouth sales receipt on the hood. Lloyd's Sport Satellite is as original as the day he bought it. right down to the interior.
I traded in a 66 Plymouth Sport Fury 383 4-speed for it.
And it still runs like a new car. 1940 Fords and Mercs look surprisingly similar, but there are a few subtle differences, like the rear taillights. This is Al's story.
The fella up in Welland had it for sale a few times at Bothwell, and I tried buying it and couldn't come up with the money. Then when I sold my other car, I finally had the money to buy it, and I got it, finally. But it was hard getting a lot of them. But I got it, and I did a few changes on it. I changed that fuel injection, I changed the carburetor, and changed the tires, put the wide white walls on and the original hubcaps, and just drove to drive it. It's a driver. It's a California car, never been patched.
Al has been interested in cars all his life.
Since I was a little kid. All my uncles raced a checker flag. I raced a checker flag from the time I was old enough to drive. And I've just been around cars my whole life. My whole life.
A few changes and upgrades have been made to this rare Mercury convertible.
It has a 302 Lincoln motor in it, automatic with overdrive, power steering, power brakes, airbag front suspension. She looks original but goes down the road like a brand new car. Run 140, 150 kilometers an hour all day long down the road.
This was the first year for Ford's power convertible top. What a nice car. Norm has owned this fully restored 56 Ford for more than 25 years. At one time, it was a drag car. Here's Norm.
It was a gasser. We drove it for 2 summers like that. And then I wanted to make it a nice driver. So we went into restoration, and it took 10 years to restore it.
The interior has been redone, and it has a floor shifter. The engine is a 390 turning out 400 horsepower. A custom feature is the tub quarter panels that allow the rear wheels to fit comfortably. Frank bought this beautiful 67 Mustang convertible back in '89 in pieces. But Frank is a body man and brought his skills to the project.
I like the way it looked. I like the look, the body design. It's a little bit different than the 66 that I had as well. And the newer one didn't appeal to me as much as this one here did.
This Mustang has been restored to stock, and the custom candy apple paint job is more than 30 years old. You know, every car has a story. And here's Gil's tale of how he acquired this 1938 Chevy sedan.
Well, actually, the guy moved in across the street from my house, and it was sitting in his driveway, and I purchased it off him right out of his driveway. He didn't drive the car, and it was left to him by his dad.
But here's a twist to the story. There was nothing to do to this car.
To be honest with you, I bought a 39 Chev to restore, and it was in my backyard at home, and this guy moved in across the street, and this one was already done. 350 Chev, 700R4 tranny, Ford 9-inch. It's got a Chevy 2 subframe in it. It's got power steering, power brakes, cruise control. It's a nice daily driver, actually. I've been interested in old cars my whole life. My older brother got me into cars when I was about 14 years old.
Just one of many great automobiles in our community. We have our fingers crossed this COVID pandemic will be out of here so we can all get together again. But it's going to take a while. In the meantime, my friends, please stay safe. And with any luck, we'll see you later this year at the car shows and cruise nights.